In a world where mysteries and secrets are a daily occurrence, there is a place shrouded in an aura of sacredness and mystery that has sparked questions and theories for centuries: the Vatican. Today, we delve into one of the darkest and most controversial enigmas concerning the Catholic Church: the hypothesis that the Antichrist might be hidden within its walls, and that even the Pope might be aware of it. Before we proceed, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our investigations into the truths the world tries to hide. Have you ever heard of the Antichrist? This figure, often associated with the end times and the final battle between good and evil, is a subject of great interest, but also of wide interpretation among theologians, scholars, and mystery enthusiasts. What if we told you that evidence of its existence and its presence within the very institution supposed to fight it, the Church, has been concealed for years? Let's explore together the hidden corridors of religious power through ancient documents, prophecies, and testimonies that some claim have been deliberately ignored or even suppressed. This journey will lead us to question not only the foundations of faith, but also the power structures that regulate the world's largest institutions. If this topic intrigues you and you want to support our search for truth, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Only together can we bring to light the stories that deserve to be told. The hypothesis that the Antichrist might be hiding within the Church, operating in the shadows to prepare his earthly kingdom, not only evokes deep theological questions, but also raises significant ethical and philosophical reflections. If confirmed, this perspective would cast doubt on the entire structure of the Catholic Church and potentially other Christian denominations, leading to an unprecedented critical examination of the institution itself and its foundations. This scenario invites not just reflection on the truthfulness and authenticity of the professed doctrines, but also challenges the individual and collective conscience of believers, pushing them to question the true essence of spirituality. The hidden presence of the Antichrist within the Church raises crucial questions about how religious institutions interpret and live by the principles they declare to follow. The central issue becomes whether the practices, liturgies, and teachings genuinely reflect Christ's teachings, or on the contrary, have been diverted or contaminated by malignant influences. This perspective forces the faithful to consider the possibility that their faith may have been manipulated or wrongly guided by those who, internally, might have malevolent intentions. Such a scenario calls for deep reflection on personal responsibility in pursuing a more authentic and direct understanding of spirituality, beyond the interpretations and directives imposed from above. From an ethical standpoint, the potential presence of the Antichrist within religious institutions raises questions about the morality of actions performed in the name of faith. How can believers distinguish between true divine instructions and manipulations by dark forces? This situation demands a critical need for transparency, integrity, and self-examination at both the individual and collective levels within the Christian community. Philosophically, this scenario prompts a debate on the nature of evil and its ability to infiltrate and corrupt institutions that should represent the supreme good. This leads to questioning the existence of free will, the battle between good and evil, and the role that each individual plays within this cosmic dynamic. The potential presence of the Antichrist in the Church underscores the importance of spiritual vigilance and the ceaseless search for truth, highlighting how faith should never be uncritical or passive, but always active and discerning. The concept of the Antichrist, widely discussed in sacred texts and eschatological interpretations, is usually associated with an evil entity directly opposing Christ and Christian values. However, its alleged presence within the Church introduces a paradoxical role reversal, where evil hides under the guise of good to undermine it from within. This destabilizing notion demands profound reflection on spiritual vigilance and the importance of keeping one's faith alive through constant and conscious commitment. At the same time, the potential presence of the Antichrist within the Vatican walls raises questions about the vulnerability of religious institutions to external and internal influences, and their ability to preserve their spiritual and moral integrity. In this context, the trust of the faithful can be severely tested, leading to a crisis of faith that necessitates a renewed quest for authenticity and truth. Furthermore, considering the Church's influence in human history, the possibility that it could have been manipulated by dark forces pursues not only a spiritual agenda, but also political and social ones, making the boundary between religion and earthly power even more blurred. This implies that the battle between good and evil is not only spiritual, but also plays out in the daily decisions shaping society. This perspective paves the way for a more personal and less institutionalized spirituality, where the believer is called to develop a direct relationship with the divine, regardless of human mediations. Cultivating critical thinking and a mature faith that is not deceived by appearances but constantly seeks truth in the words, actions, and silences of religious institutions becomes essential. What do you think of the theory that the Antichrist might be hidden within the Church? Do you believe there could be truthful foundations behind this hypothesis, or do you consider it merely a conspiracy theory? Share your opinions in the comments. Finally, this discussion prompts reflection on the responsibility of religious institutions themselves to maintain transparency and coherence with the values they profess. Only through a constant commitment to truth, integrity, and authentic spirituality can the Church hope to overcome internal and external challenges, reaffirming its role as a moral and spiritual guide for the faithful. In the quest for truth, the path we face is fraught with complexity and challenges that go well beyond mere knowledge acquisition. It is a journey that deeply interrogates faith, explores the depths of spirituality, and exposes the fragility of man-made institutions. This search goes beyond a simple intellectual question. It becomes an emotional and spiritual exploration that demands a total commitment of the being. Discernment plays a crucial role in this process. It is not just an act of intellectual judgment, but a skill that involves the entire being, requiring a balance between mind, heart, and spirit. Discernment helps us navigate through the sometimes murky waters of information, interpretations, and perspectives, helping us to distinguish truth from falsehood, good from evil, light from darkness. This ability is honed not only through study and reflection, but also through lived experience and an inner openness to a higher spiritual guidance. Prayer is another foundational pillar in this search. Through prayer, we open ourselves to a dialogue with the divine, seeking guidance, wisdom, and comfort in the challenges this search brings. Prayer becomes a moment of intimate reflection, a lifeline that connects us with the ultimate source of all truth. In these moments of silent communication, we can find profound insights and revelations that illuminate the path towards understanding. However, the search for truth is not only an individual journey, it is also a collective journey that shares a love for a truth that liberates and saves. The love for truth must be the engine that drives every search, because it is love that opens our eyes to reality in all its nuances. The love for truth pushes us to seek honestly, to challenge our preconceptions, and to remain open to where the search may lead us, even when it takes us far from our comfort zones. This love for truth is not a superficial feeling, but a deep internal disposition that seeks the ultimate good, not just for oneself, but for the entirety of humanity. It is a love that transcends the personal and extends to a desire for justice, peace, and genuine communion among individuals and with the divine. In conclusion, while questions remain open and answers seem increasingly shrouded in mystery, one thing is certain: The search for truth must never stop. The presence of the Antichrist within the Church, whether real or presumed, reminds us that the struggle between good and evil is a recurring theme in human history, a theme that deeply challenges us all.